welcome to the very first episode of the MoxStars podcast. I am your host, Evan Kunai, and I am here with Jordan Garcia.
Yo, what up?
And Christopher Ritter.
What's up?
Dude, that energy level. Love to see it.
Thank you guys for being here. You can follow us on any of our socials, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Twitter. You can find all those links below in the description. If you're watching us on YouTube, thank you first. And you can go ahead and like this video, subscribe, and hit the bell for more updates.
All right. Today, we're talking about a controversial topic, secret lairs. Love them, hate them. We're going to have a mix of those opinions here at this table. I can guarantee that.
Yes, sir.
All right. So we're going to start talking, each of us, we're going to talk about our least favorite secret lairs. Then we're going to move on to our favorite secret lairs. And then we're going to talk more about secret lairs in a different context. So I think Evan is the one who has spent the most of his money on this product. So why don't you kick us off, man?
God, I'm so in deep. I'm absolutely I'm absolutely in deep in Secret Lair.
And in debt.
I'm actually paying attention to when they draw from my account, and I'm like starting to learn that they're drawing every 2 weeks now. So
gone are the days of 3 months before you see that withdrawal.
Yeah, it used to be like, I have another, this is going to hit another paycheck. And now it's like, no, this is going to hit the next paycheck.
You've ordered enough of these that you have a data set to track when they're being released.
I do.
There are enough plot points to figure out.
Yeah, I am so like on the money with any of these secret layers. So my favorite secret layer of all time is probably, man, I got to say it's the Street Fighter one.
Yeah, you love it, dude.
I did love it.
It's good art.
It wasn't just the artwork. It wasn't just like, because there are some secret layers out there that have like incredible art. Like I'm a huge borderless foil guy, but these Street Fighter cards were just so unique. Universes Beyond has been controversial, to say the least. And so when you introduce something and you put in the effort to create cards that are only available via Secret Lair that have very unique mechanics that are very flavorful and fit the characters that you're embodying, like that's, I think, why it is the full picture. Like they made Chun-Li, like it's absolutely baller. Like just a very flavorful card. It hits all the proper points. And every single one of them.
I've always admired when they manage to make mechanics reflect flavor on a card, and like when you can like really thoroughly see like a mechanic seems like a Chun-Li mechanic. That's like very hard to do in a a gameplay environment where you're trying to balance a million cards at the same time.
Yeah, it all matters like when it hits you too. And like we were in a stage of Magic that I wouldn't call the golden era by any means. We were seeing cards that were being limited by effects that said like once per turn. It felt like a very limited design space at the time. And so when this one was announced, it was...
When did the Street Fighter Secret Lair come out, just for context?
Yeah, it was right around Midnight Hunt.
Okay.
So like the Innistrad Midnight Hunt.
Is that when you can buy it or when it came out?
Like when it was announced.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So they haven't been out very long.
No, you got them.
I've already sold most of them. I got a Lion's Eye Diamond. Don't blame me. But yeah, it felt like it felt like a fresh breath of air in a time when design was very limited, that they weren't being super creative with what they were putting out.
Yeah, I felt like that's what specifically was very creative, mechanically speaking. I thought that was very interesting.
Yeah.
Where like, I don't know, like the Walking Dead one was more just like...
Yeah, I think when we were here at work and we were just like...
something to be desired.
We were constantly talking about like, man, we are in a rut. We're not brewing. We're not brewing right now, and it was, as soon as the Street Fighter thing dropped, it was just like, boom, like inspiration. We just started brewing like crazy just around these like cards.
Now for you, was that the mechanics in the set, or was it just working with that material, working with Street Fighter stuff? You're all of a sudden excited, separate from actually playing the cards.
Oh man, it was the like mechanics of it. Because honestly, I wasn't like super stoked when the Street Fighter stuff was announced. Like the Universes Beyond stuff was very like,
we were pretty cold on it at first.
Yeah. Honestly, I was super cold on it. I'd saw
that was pretty early on in Universes Beyond too. Like it was Walking Dead, and then
they'd done this Stranger Things, Walking
yep.
Dead, and this was kind of like the third one. We were like, oh wow, it's actually not pushed. Like it's kind of well balanced, and it's fun, and it's interesting.
Yeah. So the mechanics look super fun and very unique build arounds, which is like
each one would have been a interesting casual commander, and like you could have a fun time building that deck.
Yeah, like Dalsum's like reach tribal with your power matters as long as it's below 2. You know, it's like, and you can draw cards.
Like
you know?
none of them are broken, but they're all just fun.
Yeah, E Honda with the like plus whatever and then hit with toughness.
Yeah,
like, it's crazy how powerful some of them are if you do the proper build around.
Now, for you guys, is that the appropriate like power level for a Secret Lair in the Universes Beyond realm? Because I'm looking at these Transformers cards that got spoiled. Ah, man,
we're talking like mechanically unique cards.
Mechanically unique cards, like that you want to build around. Is that what you want out of the Universes Beyond product?
I think it's honestly a good thing. Like, I love broken stuff and building in it, but I don't necessarily want that being printed in like this is the scenario where you can only get it is paying for this in this limited time frame, and it just does breed a lot of lack of availability for people to build that kind of stuff.
Just percentage wise, you're going to see it at the table less often, but you're still going to see it.
Yeah, and it's also hard to get your hands on sometimes. Some of these are like the Rick is probably one of the best humans ever printed from Walking Dead, and he's $50 now.
Yeah, a lot of FOMO involved with this.
Yeah, so no, I like that they're not printing overtly broken, unique mechanic stuff. I think if they're going to do that, it should stick to like, non-rotating sets like, Commander product and, Modern Horizons product and stuff like that. That's where I want to see those things.
Yeah, well, the Transformer stuff isn't necessarily Secret Lair like isn't accessible via Secret Lair. It is something that
Universes Beyond.
Yeah, in Universes Beyond, that's I think it is appropriate power level. Like, it's just funky enough. I know like Hasbro owns the rights to half the world at this point. There's a lot of different like Magic cards in Universes Beyond that we could see. I mean, Lord of the Rings is coming up, but this is one where like, yeah, I see it like the Transformers, and I think they're flavorfully on point. They do.
Agreed. Yeah.
Like the mechanics of the cards fit the characters well.
And well balanced, again, I think. Like, they're not broken.
They're not overpowered.
But they're going to be fun. I think they're going to be fun.
It's fair. That's fair. I would say, as a minor point, Transformers have been around for a while. There are various permutations of Transformers set in different fantasy worlds. Why did they choose the one that they chose rather than the one that fits better with the world of Magic the Gathering?
Totally.
I mean, they've had... they had the Transformer promos from before where you could get Grimlock as like a Naya commander like a Naya dinosaur commander.
Thought that was money.
Beast Wars, baby.
Yeah. Oh my God, Beast Wars is great.
Yeah.
Let's
That's honestly. I would have
books.
Would have loved a Beast Wars.
Get that on the books.
That would have been sick.
Let's go. What's your least favorite, dude?
Let's see.
Gotta keep us moving along.
Yeah. Honestly, my least favorite was the Happy Yargle Day. And it was...
You're not a Yargle stan, huh?
It was like the value of the set. And like I've said before, every Secret Lair is worth it, like value-wise. And that's why I keep buying them, is because you can spend $30 on the non-foil version and like, hey, the value's there. And you can spend $40 on the foil version. And the Happy Yargle Day one... I just looked at it and I was like,
oh my God.
Swords to Plowshares has been reprinted.
Can we stop putting Swords to Plowshares in every single Secret Lair pack? Every special release has a Swords to Plowshares reprint.
Yeah.
I mean, at this point, like, if you look at what they're doing, well, we're jumping topics, but if you look at what they're doing for Magic 30, Soul Ring has been downshifted to common, which is appropriate.
Finally. Thank you.
So do that to Swords to Plowshares. Treat it like a common.
Yeah, 100%.
Right.
Yeah. And I want to stop seeing it in like bulk filler in every promo pack.
Can you imagine the Popper scene with Swords to Plowshares at common?
Yeah, that's a different episode.
Yeah.
Sweet. Well, yeah, Chris, what about you? What's your favorite and least favorite Secret Lair?
I've spent $0 at Wizards of the Coast ordering Secret Lairs. I've ordered none of these. The Magic 30 set might pique my interest. I still have to make a decision on that. So for me, my favorite and my least favorite are all of them. Nothing has piqued my interest yet. So for me, I'm a gameplay first person.
Less of the collector standpoint.
Less of a collector. The collector aspect and looking for value aspect is really to fuel the game.
Right.
Spend less outside money.
Mad respect
on this. I know I don't always live up to that for sure.
It's hard to be perfect.
It's hard to do that. So for me, I have not found something that generates enough interest for me to spend the money. I would rather have the original printing. A lot of these Secret Lairs, there's various printings of these cards already, and I can find one that aesthetically fits with what I want.
Yeah, I mean, to that point too, it's like there's so many secret layers with so many different artworks out there right now. When you shuffle a deck up, if you know when you're playing against someone who buys a lot of secret layers, because it looks like they're playing 4 or 5 different card games in a single deck.
Yeah.
See, so that's
Which
actually
is not
one
your vibe.
that is one aspect that I do like.
Oh, you do? Okay.
So I have you know, for a high power deck, I have Dina Hulk. Green black,
Love it, by the
you know,
way.
the usual list. But I run the Secret Lair Protean Hulk in there because I'm often tutoring for Protean Hulk in that deck because it's the win con,
Right.
and I just want to be able to find it.
So you're Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Fair
And
enough.
that version is so sexy. It's the best.
It's a good looking Protean Hulk.
You're not much of a foil guy though, right? Like,
I mean, if the foil's there and it's not that much more expensive than the regular version, they play mechanically the same.
Yeah.
The foiling effect isn't always that aesthetically pleasing.
True.
I you know,
foils
another
are
secret
way
layer I like because the foiling is good is the Ghostly Prison with the neon ink.
yeah.
So something like that, yes, I'll go for the foil. Otherwise, I don't really care about the foil that
Fair
much.
enough. Just keep it cheap.
Yeah.
Keep it cheap.
I respect it.
That whole
I'm
monstrosity.
glad you're here. You balance out our perspective.
Yes, you do. that monstrosity drop with like Gishath and Protean Hulk, like I have
That was a
seen
really
both.
good pickup.
Yeah, I've seen both prints, like the foil etched and the non-foil versions, and honestly, the foil etched look great. The way they like put that shine over the green, and like how the Protean Hulk stands out from amongst that, it's really a pretty card and a well-designed set. I was thoroughly shocked because for a while there, you did not know what you were getting with foil etched anything, like the Mystical Archives.
Dude, yeah. I mean,
You just did not know.
foil etch out of the gate in Commander Legends was left a lot to be desired. It was terrible.
Yeah, I was honestly a little like I was way more impressed with the Commander Legends foil etched than I was with the Mystical Archives. Once they took it to that level and they're like, oh yeah, we're only doing borders. And
Oh, yeah. You're talking like how stingy they were on.
yeah. It's like they just showed us how cool foil etch was going to be in
Yeah,
Commander
so
Legends.
If you look at the Strixhaven Mystical Archive Japanese alternate art ones, the foil etching, for a lot of times, the only time you're seeing that foiling is on the rarity symbol.
oh,
like
I
The
know.
border,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
pencil thin, 1 micron thick border
Yeah.
of etching just around the text box.
You're looking at the guy who thought buying into the foil etched
All in.
Mystical Archive Japanese
all in.
variants was a good investment. And spoiler alert, it's not. They were ugly.
Yeah, I bought one expensive one. I forget what it was, and I got it, and I was so sad.
They're price wise, a lot of them are below the original printings.
Yeah, could you?
When they came out, they
yeah.
weren't, though. When they came out, like no one knew at the time. So
Oh, the value dropped off. I mean,
Right,
really,
yeah.
the only value you're getting out of that is Demonic Tutor and a handful of other things.
Right.
at
Could
this
you
point.
imagine at the time when like foil etched was this up and coming like new foiling technique that they were using, and you saw the pre-orders for a foil etched Japanese variant Demonic Tutor, and you said, "I'm going to spend $350 on that," and then you
Ugh.
get it in the mail, and it is not.
you get a
even-
little shiny border.
Yeah, you
around the
got
text
a little
box.
foil etched border.
Just shows you where the text box is. Oh my god, yeah, I hate it.
All right, Jordan, your turn, man. What's your favorite?
Right. So, my favorite is got to be the Dan Frazier signets, and I'll loop in the Dan Frazier talismans as well.
Yeah.
I jokingly put Artist Series Sub McKinnon on here.
I thought that was your. I thought that was your primary choice.
No.
Oh, I thought we agreed not to get political on this podcast.
I mean, I didn't say anything political. All I did was say the name Seb McKinnon.
I mean, you've got a few of his playmats.
We all have a few of his playmats if you want to go there. Anyway, that's another podcast episode. I think my favorite has the ones that are just finished as of time of recording this is the Dan Frazier signets. I think Dan Frazier makes amazing artwork. Like he did the original Moxes.
That's a huge draw for me in terms of piquing my interest.
Yes,
Like
yes.
Artist Series, that's the way to do it.
100%.
Yeah.
I love that. And as like to your point, Ritter, is just having like the buy-in value of the game. Those are all extremely usable. Like, and so because I liked that he was doing the talismans, but the talismans are not the talismans. Sorry.
Yeah, I think you got him
signets.
flipped there.
Yeah, I like that he was doing the signets because I thought it was cool. but I didn't buy them because I don't use signets in any of my decks. I do put talismans in pretty much every single one of my decks, though.
Yeah, crazy good value on the talismans. Like the signets, not so much. The artworks are cool. I guess that like loops back is like they're pulling classical Magic artists to do these artist series, and the fact that they're actually putting valuable reprints in those is drawing more players to buy more Secret Lairs.
Well, you know, Magic 30 is coming up. It's a game that's been around for 30 years. There were, you know, I've been playing it for 26 of those years.
Wow, yeah.
And there's people that have that were from the jump, the full 30, and they're still in the game like me. And so, you know, if you're going to draw on these classic artists, draw on these classic pieces, like that's money in the bank. And these especially are the people, the older players, the people with disposable income to spend on these.
Are you talking about the whales?
The whales, indeed. Yeah.
Oh, the whales. Yeah. So, we'll talk about more some of the Secret Lair drops that I really like in the main discussion point, but I brought this up because not only is the art from Dan Frazier awesome, but just what a great value it is for buying those and getting a whole pack, and who knows what the secret card is going to be in those. I'm sure it's going to be something good, and I'm going to regret not buying them.
Yeah, the Arcane Signet was such
getting the Arcane
surprise.
Signet out of the
Signet drop.
Oh my goodness, that was great.
Man, Evan, I want to ask you a question, but I think this parlays into the next topic, which is when you're looking at a Secret Lair, is that a big thing for you? The individual value of the cards versus the printings? Like, do you need parity there, or do you need it to, you know, the value to already exceed the card value to buy it?
Nope.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't care at all. There've been like so many Secret Lairs out there that have broken parity, and it's been like way more valuable than like the ticket price. And there've been some that I've bought that have been far, far below, but it's more or less just like what cards I want. There's some like Secret Lairs that have just been like dookie, have been like really bad, or maybe not as popular. And the thing is that sometimes I'll still buy those.
So as an investor in Secret Lairs, you're not letting yourself be driven by passion.
I am. It's like first and foremost my interest in the artwork and the cards, right? Like what cards are being reprinted. Like I didn't go for like the Concordant Crossroads Secret Lair. Like I can't remember what artist series that was, but it wasn't one that I was like super interested in because God, it was just such a bad turnaround. Like if you pre-ordered that and you were like, this is the first time they've reprinted Concordant Crossroads, 2 months later they printed Double Masters and they had a Concordant Crossroads reprinting. So I can't imagine how many people just went back and just like canceled their pre-orders for that Secret Lair. But I don't know, it's like a gut feeling. I definitely like go on my gut with it. There are some that have been like less than popular, and I think the thing to understand about Secret Lairs is that it is a FOMO thing, and that's what they're capitalizing on. So when you go in and you're buying Secret Lair, if it's less popular, it's printed to demand. So there are less cards on the market if it is less popular. So that's sometimes why.
I've seen it happen with you a couple times. It's really annoying where I'm like, there's nothing good in the set. I can't believe you bought this. And you're like, yeah, nobody bought it. And so now everything's super expensive.
Yeah. It's like when you turn around, you had bought that Commander Sphere from the... I can't remember. It was like the little trinkets Secret Lair drop has a toad on it. It's beautiful. Like I did not like that one. I didn't buy it. I wish I would have bought it because no one bought it. The Arcane Signet and like the Arcane Signet, the Commander Sphere, the Chromatic Orrery, all from that set. Crazy valuable. So I guess that's a little bit of insight is like, I do go with my gut. It sometimes it's inexplainable. I can't really like put my finger on it, but yeah, I'll just pull the trigger on things that I feel good about.
All right.
Word. All right.
It just so happens to be 90% of it.
He feels good about 90% of the product they come out with. All right, should we move on to our main topic here?
I think we're in it.
I mean,
we did stray into it a little bit there. Yeah, but
you even said the magic word, product. Secret Lair as a product.
Yeah, our
sponsor
main topic
possibilities.
Today.
Ooh, yeah, sponsor us. I mean, I will say I bought these Secret Lairs if you just send them to me.
Ritter's brought every single Secret Lair.
Yeah.
Well, sick.
Yeah, our main subject today is just talking about Secret Lair as a product, and that like relates to so much because there's so much depth to it. Like we talked about collecting, we talked about price and like matching it, and does it like exceed value, break parity? What does it look like for the long term? Like when you buy a secret lair, how long are you planning on holding on to it? Are you playing with the cards? Are you buying the little secret lair like card carrying cases
that
new, they're selling now?
Slabs, the magnetic slabs that they're starting to sell now.
People who look 20 years out and are just like, yeah, okay, I'm putting this Mystic Remora in one of these cases because I am not touching it for 20 years because it's never going to be printed again.
Or are you like buying sealed and you're keeping it sealed for like a long time and trying to sell it like a year later? You know, like there's a lot of people doing that.
I think I guess to start off is just to like explain Secret Lair. We talked about it a little bit, but like when it was introduced in 2019 with that first big drop, they had said that you have
started COVID.
Yeah, right at the start of COVID, and they just said. You have 2 weeks to buy this, and if you don't buy it, it's going to be gone forever.
It was the gods, right?
It was no, it wasn't the gods. It was the cats and a few other ones too. Yeah, the Theros ones.
Those came right before COVID.
Yeah, the Theros gods came a little bit later, along with like right alongside Theros Beyond Death, and so it was printed to demand, and it was printed only available for like 2 weeks, and so now. You look at it and you can sort of reflect and have, hindsight is 2020. Like, what is the value of those cat cards from the first? And so you can kind of make your assumptions on like when you're investing in these. I guess
it was like Miri was on that, right?
Yeah, Miri, Weatherlight Duelist. If you go to Card Kingdom, there's a $45 card on Card Kingdom right now, and the whole bundle was it was when bundles were $30, and they didn't have the choice of foil and non-foil. So like this program, this project that Wizards experiment that they've been running, it's been
it was an experiment then. Now I think it's just part of the regular product cycle.
Oh, right. Yes, yeah. But that brings me to like what I was talking about this morning with Evan was why did they choose now to completely change the entire business model of Secret Lair for the 30th anniversary?
I think the 30th anniversary is a good opportunity to reshape what the game is.
And like test the waters on like how they're marketing this like exclusive product.
Yeah, because you're looking at just in the general culture, more of a shift from things have to have inherent value to things just having value as collectibles themselves. So you have like digital basketball cards that have their own sort of like chase cycle and that sort of stuff. And I think, Wizards, for legal reasons, says they are not involved in the secondary market. But
it's bullshit.
Yeah, it's bullshit. They would be a bad business and bad businessmen if they weren't carefully observing the secondary market and tracking what goes on there and manipulating that in a way that they can legally get away with. And that's what we're seeing with Secret Lairs. They're creating their own chase variants.
Yeah, they are.
And they can sell it direct to the consumers.
Yeah, they're literally creating a secondary market. They're just gauging what their product is worth.
They are making $0 right now off of Black Lotuses,
Right.
So, oh my God.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they're not idiots. They know they're leaving money on the table.
Right. Does someone have the image of the 7 cards that are spoiled for the Secret Lair that's coming up for Magic 30?
Oh, it's not great.
I do.
And to give context to this,
do you want me to name them?
Yeah, sure.
Are we talking the Secret Lair Magic 30 card drop?
Exactly, yep.
So we got Shark Typhoon, Necropotence, Chrome Mox, Birthing Pod, Elsbeth, Sun's Champion, Nicol Bolas, God Pharaoh, and Bloodbraid Elf. I will say that all of these have different art styles.
Yeah, so to the uninitiated, this whole drop is going to be 30 cards. It is a limited quality, so a break from the norm with Secret Lairs, and it is going to be $150. And so if you are paying attention to the market at all, you're going to hear those 7 cards and realize that they break parity.
Yeah, just off the dome, those literally 7 cards, you're making your money back.
You're going to get 23 more cards, with that drop.
Yeah, just these here. The things that they're changing up that I don't really like is like I've liked that there is a foil option and not foil option, and they do not give you that choice anymore. It is now, what did you say, a 30% chance that some of the cards will be foiled? How does that work?
Yeah, it's like there's a 30% chance that any of the cards will come in foil. So, there theoretically is a chance that your whole drop arrives in the mailbox foiled out.
So each slot has a 30% chance.
Exactly.
Okay. Wow. I will say I do love some of the arts on just the 7 spoil, like that Necropotence. I'm buying that no questions asked. Like, it's so cool. And also, speaking of Dan Frazier made a freaking Chrome Mox for this. Foil or not, I want that in my hands.
Yeah, the discussion, I've been monitoring it throughout the day today because this just happened this morning, the spoiler for it. And so I got to work today and I told Jordan about it, and he's sitting there and he's just like, yeah, I want that. Right. And then I tell him the conditions for getting it, and he's just like, okay, you're pissed. But as the day has gone on and it's, come back to the surface and discussion over the course of the day, you're starting to fantasize about how you are going to make it happen to where you can
all of
buy
us today were like, hey, doesn't this suck? I'm still going to buy it. Like,
yeah, exactly.
3 of us today were like, you're going to buy it.
It's available November 1st for sale. And so you are sitting there and you're strategizing at what time does it drop and how prepared do I need to be? It's
Pacific time.
Don't tell
9 a.m. Pacific time. So I'm literally sitting there at 8:50, refreshing my server, just waiting for it to like become available because it's going to be gone in 2 minutes flat.
Now, can we take a little digression? Do we want to talk about ways to optimize actually getting to it before the bots and the other customers?
Yeah, that'd be great. I don't know how to do it, but
so for me, in my quest to acquire a PS5 and in other contexts, the way to do it is you have multiple browsers open. Both regular windows, incognito windows in each. So Chrome, Firefox, have them both going. Have a regular window, incognito window, and every possible instance of that page with your shopping cart you can get to, or to put in your shopping cart. Just be refreshing that. 8:58, 8:59. Just every 10 seconds, cycle through all of them and just wait for one of them to hit. And that's the way to do it.
Wow.
Yeah.
You heard it here first.
Yeah, I've never even thought of like using that as a strategy. That's genius.
That's pretty sick. And we should test it out on November 1st.
Yeah. Also, on a laptop, on your mobile phone as well.
Oh, yeah.
Because the mobile site will load differently than the desktop site. So just maximize your chances of hitting the jackpot.
Yeah.
Sick. Let's try it out.
Yeah, I imagine these servers are going to crash after about 5 minutes of action.
I don't know. We'll see. I do like that they're actively trying to make it so you get them for Christmas. Like, I mean, that is their point for having them limited.
By December 1st.
By December 1st. So it's going to be a really quick turnaround.
Yeah, I can't.
Make sure you got that money in the bank when you sign up for that secret lair.
I can't plan that paycheck out. They're just going to take it right out of my account.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, oh, my goodness. This Necrobones I'm just swooning over. I know, Ritter, you hate the chibi. You hate the chibi nickel bolas.
Chibi art, waifu art. It makes me embarrassed to play the game.
Okay, if you sit down at the table with a chibi or well, more like a waifu playmat.
Oh, there are playmats I've refused to borrow from Jordan.
Fair enough.
It just sends a message for all you listen out there. If you're playing on a waifu mat, you're sending a message. If you're comfortable sending that message, like, good on you.
There was a meme going around on Reddit this weekend of an older Magic player teaching his teenage daughters to play Magic. And unfortunately, all of his gear, his sleeves, his playmats were just waifu cards, and you could see the embarrassment on his daughters' faces.
Oh God!
Yeah,
what a great way to not get them into the game. To guarantee that they'll never play Magic again.
And so, I guess to dive a little bit deeper into Secret Lair, we've talked about the value of reprints. Like, does it break parity? Now, the collector's value of this. I guess, we could dive in and just say, like, based on demand, how long do you have to wait to see your return on these?
Well, I think there's an initial spike because they don't get distributed equally. So some people will get their hands on them first, and then you'll see them go up on TCG Player for, an inflated 2 to 3 times the normal price.
Right.
So, I mean, if you're one of those lucky ducks and you can get up there, day one of distribution day, freaking go for it.
I mean, you got that Mystic Remora for what, $30?
Well, yeah. So we were looking at the Mystic Remora, which is a gorgeous, gorgeous art, by the way. And the only time that card has ever been printed foil. So one of the reasons, that clues me in as a collector, like, definitely get in on this. The night before it was at like almost $60, I want to say. It was just like crazy high. And then I woke up in the morning and I saw it for like $23 with shipping. Like,
right.
And like, yep, I'll take that. It's not going to be that way in 3 days.
Right. Yeah. And it wasn't.
No. Yeah. So there's, usually that initial spike of it being high because a few people got it and they want to gouge you, and then there's the drop because everybody gets it all at once, and there's that influx of product. That's what we see 2 to 3 weeks into a new set coming out, and everybody's selling back all their draft cards. And then you'll watch that like pretty gradual rise. But at the same time, I think a lot of these actually aren't gradual. A lot of them they escalate pretty quickly.
Yeah, when you're looking at the secondary market for cards, like you're building a deck, you're brewing a deck, and we all know that like we're all foil heads in a way. Like we love foils, we love going for like the premium option of a card.
I mean,
because
also a Ritter, but
why would you?
Well, I mean, sometimes.
Yeah.
If it's the coolest version of the card.
Yeah, if it's the cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that Mr. Gamora, like, holy shit, what an upgrade.
Why half-ass it?
Yeah.
You know, like whole ass it. Just
put your whole ass in there. You got to do it.
And so, like, when you're looking at the secondary market, do you ever regret not buying a secret lair based on like what it costs when you look at it when you want to buy it, like as a single?
Like, you go to buy a single and you're like, damn, I wish I had bought.
Yeah.
Literally all the time I have that feeling. Like, especially because I'm watching you buy all these fucking packs and then I don't buy them. And then not 3 weeks later, I find myself on TCG trying to like poach out one of the singles, and it's just the same price you bought the entire thing for.
Yeah, that Kellogg's Loop one is definitely like a very good example of that.
My
because
God.
that one, oh God, when that was spoiled and I saw it, I knew immediately I was buying
100%.
a lot of them.
Like, I don't know if everybody has like that initial, like maybe they don't have that collector instinct or whatever, like this is going to be profitable. But I mean, this is a great one to look at if anybody wants to kind of see what we're looking at for a set or a drop that might be a good return on investment. It had a Mr. Gamora, which is the only foil printing, and the original art was, so
immediately worth the value of the drop
alone,
itself.
100%.
Yeah, alone.
And then a burgeoning, and then a Utopia sprawl, and that's not even it. There were more cards in there.
Yeah, there's a Retreat to Coral Helm too.
Yeah.
And then you
pretty
get your little surprise card, which could have been a blueprint like Panharmonicon, which would have exceeded the value of the box itself.
Right. So like literally, the burgeoning would have paid for this set. The Utopia sprawl pays for half of it. The Mr. Gamora pays for that, and then 2 more of them.
Yeah.
Over. So
some,
like, what just a clear, easy pickup if you want to make some money on some cards.
Right.
Like, obviously not financial advice, but this is what we look for when we're like investing in cards and hoping to flip them.
Yeah, it's what I'm looking at, and like there's actually one that I look back on, and it's a little regret here and there. I know you put it in the notes here. The Fortnite set had some pretty great cards flavorfully. Like, I know it's Universes Beyond, and I know that when they introduced the Godzilla cards and they said, we're going to...
Those were sick, though.
Give these
Very
cards...
sick, yeah.
Those were sick.
Yeah, those were great.
I do own one of those.
Like those and
Yeah.
the Dracula ones. Like, I don't...
Oh, the Dracula ones are
I
sick,
don't
yeah.
mind the reskinning. If you say what the card is, you have the text below, and it's the same freaking thing. It's not unique. Like, I love that. That's fine.
They've whiffed on some of these like basic land prints, and they've definitely hit home runs on the basic land like prints. It is just so ridiculous to me that still to this day, when you buy a basic land secret lair, you only get one of each.
Yes. Okay. Now that we have a platform, I've been screaming this for 3 years ever since they premiered these Godzilla basics. I don't know if it's 3 years fully.
Give us the option to buy a quantity.
I would love to buy singles. I will spend too much money if I can guarantee that my mono blue deck has 34 Godzilla islands foil.
Yeah.
I will spend way too much money doing that.
Or those 8-bit, like the 8-bit snow-covered islands.
Yeah, those were awesome too. But like, there's no world in which I can spend $40 on one of each stupid basic land, and then get enough of them to have a full color deck.
Well, if you're playing a CDH deck, that's all you need. You need 5.
You can throw them all in the trash and you'll be good to go. I do want to, so the Fortnite thing, kind of circling back to that, I put in there because I did not buy it, even though it had the clear present value of having a foil-ristic study reprint in it.
Well, that was the what was that? It was a League of Legends one. That was the League of Legends secret lair drop.
Not Fortnite?
No.
Those are different games.
It was the Arcane. Yeah, I think they're different games.
Oh, wow.
Oh, Arcane is League of Legends.
Yeah,
Wow.
whatever that show was.
All right, so disregard. So not Fortnite. So I'm talking specifically about the League of Legends, that Arcane. You're right. It was the show. So yeah, they had the Ristic Study foil reprint in that, and I didn't get it because I thought all the arts were lacking drastically in that.
It was the most low effort secret lair.
Literally,
that
there were
so far.
screenshots from the
Okay, time
beeping
out.
show. Like, holy God.
I have to walk back my statement. It is not the most low effort secret lair they've done. The full text basic lands was
Thank
the
you.
lowest effort
Thank
secret lair that they've ever done.
No, they had to have an original thought. So that was a little bit of effort.
Oh, okay.
So
yeah, I mean, they had to have someone come up with enough words to
yeah,
fill out the whole card.
So someone put effort into that.
True.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
True.
And this one, they did not put any effort. They literally went into the show and they just took screenshots of the show off Netflix and put them on
Not
cards.
exciting screenshots, by the way. Like, if you look at them, like, what is this Ristic study?
Yeah,
They were like, I'm not going to hit this 15-second rewind. That's
No,
too much effort.
Yeah, where
Can't
you're
do
like,
it. Yeah.
you know, where you're on TikTok and you're waiting for the little bop and the girl's like clothes are different and you're just like, I want to catch it, but you can never catch it.
Yeah.
That's the whole point of those TikTok things, and you accidentally hit it twice and you like the fucking thing.
Well, the thing was,
It's the same goddamn point.
side by side to that League of Legends print was a set of basic lands too, and it was just screenshots, not even full art like borderless foils or anything. It was just screenshots from the shows of like, it just looked like you were in Kaladesh, but with no soul.
Well, you know, the secret lairs are there for wizards to test the waters.
Mm-hmm.
And in this case, they were testing the waters of how much garbage will you buy?
Yeah, and seriously, like, and they've done it in the
They're
past.
checking the floor.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
I remember when Secret Lair first started, a lot of things kind of like the first few had a lot of value, like Theros Gods, tons of value.
Yes.
But right after that, dude, like they were like, all right, what if we put one reprint that's valued at $15 at a foil in the set, and then we put 4 cards that total the value of $1? Like, can we get away with you selling you this for the same price of $40?
Yeah, I mean, mind you, it kind of goes back to the point. The mission of Secret Lair is it's printed to demand. So if they go ahead and they decide, hey, we're going to design this, we're going to pay the artists little to nothing, and then or nothing because we're taking screenshots from a show, like
Licensing fees.
yeah, licensing fees, and no one buys it. They do not have to produce it, and so maybe they printed like 10 sheets of those basic lands and then just cut them up for the kids back home. Like that could have been what happened, and they are out nothing on it. But on the other side, when someone does buy a secret lair that and it is printed to high demand, it's what costs them $5 to produce like the box, the cards, the packaging, and then you're already paying for the shipping. It's like so it's just more money in the bank for them.
Yeah, the fact that they don't really have to risk anything up front,
Yeah.
and then just get a big old lump sum of money and run the print job. It's a pretty good business model.
Yeah,
for them,
house
for
always
sure.
wins.
The house always wins.
Yeah,
for sure.
little to no repercussions on it at all because they've definitely printed some very low quality like cards.
I mean, there was a year straight where I just refused to buy them because they were all Pringles.
Yep, they're Pringles. Like I think the International Women's Day one is the one I keep going back to. That was just the absolute worst for quality. It before you even well, here's the thing: you open the box and you pulled it out, and it's Sisse like right on the front, and you're like, wow, these look great, and you're like ready to open up the pack, and as soon as the seal breaks on the little plastic pack,
The air flows into the pack.
yeah, the air flows into the pack, and all of the cards simultaneously Pringle.
It looks
They
like
just,
rigor mortis.
Yeah, was there like a cartoon pop? Like,
just like they all just literally just instantly popped into Pringle shape, and it was
like a
just
snap
like
bracelet.
it was heartbreaking because for $50 and like for sweet cards like at the time, I mean. What's that? Marin of Clan Neltoth was like
I thought it was a really cool set. Yeah,
yeah, it was
Art's
crazy
dope.
good artwork and like a very expensive card. And you really wanted to like collect these and keep your hand, use
that's the
them.
thing. It is they're solely dedicated or like targeting collectors, right? It is like for collectors, and you're giving them a product that collectors really can't even use.
It's damaged.
Yeah, it's essentially you're giving them damaged product out of a box.
It was it was funny that the community was in pretty big uproar for that one, and then I feel like they listened a little bit and they were like, okay, maybe we can't get away with that all the time. But
Yeah, and I know with
it's here and
COVID, there was a lot of like they had to find new print shops and stuff like that.
Yeah,
And
they were
so
outsourcing
I
a lot.
get that, like it's hard to keep quality going, but I don't know. I mean, like I said, I stopped buying them for pretty much a year straight, and then I bought singles, and I bought the walking ballista where he looks like a transformer or whatever. And it was just awful, like awful Pringle. Like
I still
to
play with it.
The point where I don't even enjoy having it in my deck. I traded it.
yeah, I don't like the original art on Walking Ballista, and I still don't want the Secret Lair one because of the Pringling.
Yeah, 100%. Like I like a nice deck of like going through and I love every card and it looks great. And I would hit that card every time. And I was like, the art does not compensate for me that I have a fucking half pipe in my deck.
If the card feels bad, that leads to suboptimal plays.
Yes.
Like, you know, it's a psychological game a little bit.
Right.
You know,
There's so many times when I've tried to like back Wizards on this, or like just say like back the foiling process and like the pringling of it just by saying like, hey, I'm putting them in a double sleeve. And if you play with it enough, it'll flatten out. There's one card in my collection that has not flattened out. It is that Walking Blood.
Bro, yes. I mean, I used to have it in Osgear and I would be like,
I've had it in the same deck for 2 years.
I'd be like, to the point where like, I'll be like, oh, Walking Bliss is on top of my deck right now because I can see that I only have one card that looks like that.
I literally hope the judge does not walk over and see this right now.
It is insane. Like literally, it shouldn't be tournament legal because of it. I don't know if every single Walking Blister from the Secret Lair is like that, but both of ours were.
Yeah. It was. I mean, I traded in for it. I traded in for Card Kingdom, and I spent $30 just to get the single, and I regret it.
it's a real bummer, right?
It feels bad.
It's a feel bad moment.
For sure. I will say, like, I mean, actually, that was kind of like right at that time, Commander Legends stepped in, was like, hey, etched foils, they are not Pringles.
Yeah.
So I feel like we're all like kind of on the etched foil trend. They're a little cheaper. They were guaranteed to not Pringle because Commander foils Pringled like crazy too. Mm-hmm. It wasn't just Secret Layers. But I feel like we're kind of out of that rut. I feel like a lot of the foils I've gotten lately have been really crisp. I've seen even some of the recent Secret Layers have been really good.
Yeah, as they test out new foiling processes, we're actually seeing less and less Pringles because they're actually having to put the cards through multiple layers of foiling. And so that sort of like irons out the process, and you're able to get a higher quality card. Like, we can talk all day about quality of cards with Magic, but there are other games that are doing it incredibly well, like Pokemon. Their foils, unbelievable.
Literally go spend
foils
25 cents on a VMAX foil and you'll just be like blown away. You're like, this card doesn't cost $50.
And
that's
you're like,
crazy.
Well, why am I playing Magic when this game is so accessible?
Yeah, I just like foiled out and upgraded a Pokemon Precon deck for $15.
Yeah,
and it's pretty much like meta now.
Yeah.
It is absolutely insane.
Quick to put you guys on the spot before we exit our discussion on Secret Layers. What is the Secret Layer that you feel you missed out on?
Biggest Secret Layer I missed out on.
Godzilla. But I've been able to buy the ones that I want as singles. I famously do not play blue or red for the most part, so don't need those. But you know, at the same time, they're pretty pringly, those Godzilla cards. So I think I would have ordered that and received it in the mail and gotten 5 basic lands that were Pringles, and it would have been a real bummer.
Big old bummer.
I would have felt real excited opening that package and then taking those cards out.
Those black boxes, black Secret Layer boxes where it's like that, it's the cardboard, but it feels like velvety. I love that shit. I love
nice packaging.
I love it.
Feels great.
Okay, you open it.
So when the Godzilla stuff came out, that box was huge. Like, they were like, hey, you are spending $40 to get this product, and we're going to make sure that it comes in this like ritzy jewelry box, like for 5 cards. And then the whole community was like, you are wasting so much product.
They got called out like, it's 5 cards, dog. Like, it does not need to be this big.
And so now, if you actually order a Secret Layer, which this is what the Kellogg's Loop Secret Layers came in. They came in a thin paper envelope with a like index card that said thank you, and then the cards are in just a thin plastic sleeve.
I love that.
You got to find a happy medium. I feel like, you know,
it is the cheapest packaging I've ever seen.
Still $40, by the way.
Yeah. And okay, so let's imagine.
But you just got a nice Secret Layer with excellent packaging as well.
We got to call it out. We got to call it out. Holy crap! I do have some FOMO on that one. Not gonna lie.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there were only 10,000 produced, and they were sold out in less than 2 hours.
Wow,
so,
really? I didn't realize that.
Yeah,
you tell everybody
on it. I bought the Here Be Dragons Secret Layer drop, and like I kept getting email updates from them like, hey, we're in the middle of production, we're super stoked to like get this out to you guys. Like, Beatles and Grimm has been awesome as far as like that goes. And so they actually tease you as it's coming to, and they're like, hey, be sure to check out all the secrets in the box as you get going, like, and you're going through it. You don't want to miss anything. And so people had to put spoilers on their YouTube videos of unboxing it because like it was full of spoilers. It had secrets hidden throughout the secret lair.
Yeah, it was really cool. Like kind of getting the photos from you as you were like opening it. You're like, oh yeah, I just got this and stuff. It was pretty cool.
Yeah. So as you're going through it, I guess as Wizards decides to outsource more secret lairs to like different companies, I think Beatles and Grimm set an incredibly high bar.
I love the concept, honestly. Like, do that. I want to see what other people can do with this IP. I think it's very interesting.
Now, it makes sense to me to have limited production for something you're outsourcing to, because they don't have all the resources that Wizards of the Coast does or Hasbro does to like make sure the printing can get done.
No, that feels like a perfect like limited run for me.
Yeah, it just does not make sense to me that they're doing this Magic 30 thing in a limited run. Like they have you're doing a limited run with the 30% chance of foiling. Like I just don't understand why now we decided to switch everything on its head. To answer your question, I do think that was like, I missed out on the vibe of it. That's totally more of an experience too. I mean, you got some cards. Obviously, that Tiamat is It was an experience for sure.
But yeah, very cool experience. And speaking of experience, I think the one I do have I missed out on a little bit was that Mischief set. Because I think it was just the guy's just a freaking troll, which was hilarious. That like he just did some things he probably shouldn't have done. But his art's really cool. The way he approached the thing. Like there's the planes that's like a golf flag and stuff like that.
God, what is it underneath? Yeah, it's actually not even you can play it as a planes, but it's not.
It's got like a sticker on it, right?
Yeah, it's not technically a planes.
Yeah,
it's
I forget.
It's that red white Painland.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Yeah. So
Forge or whatever.
Yeah, and that was the same thing. He had the Grim Tutor and all these very different arts and like different finishes. I really do like from Secret Lair seeing how they not only experiment with business models, but also experiment with different foiling techniques, different processes. To like doing this where you have a planes that you can peel off and you get something else. Like
it was a Battlefield Forge.
Battlefield Forge. Thank you. Yeah. So. It's not always going to be the most valuable or stuff like that, but I think if you're selling an experience like that, I think it's also really cool. And I do like to see them trying different things, trying different foils,
Right.
I think that's really, like you were saying, the Neon Ink. I thought that was super cool.
Yeah. Neon Ink looks great on there, on Ghostly Prison, on Boseju, who shelters all, right? Yep. The Hitagetsu.
And it was also on Hall of the Bandit Lord, too.
Hall of the Bandit Lord, I have that. Yeah.
That one's money.
Yep.
Yeah, that one's my favorite one from that drop.
Yeah, really cool. Like keep doing that, Wizards. Like I like all this weird art.
I think those were all extra cards, right? In Secret Lairs, they weren't themselves a secret lair.
No, they were a secret.
It was one full.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
full set.
So they've been every set that comes out that's like standard legal, they will print a secret lair dedicated to it, like based on the showcase, right? And so the one that I actually have FOMO about was missing out on the Kaldheim. This like the secret lairs that dropped alongside Kaldheim because they did a Titans drop, which had Uro and Kroxa.
Oh man,
I've seen that Kroxa.
Yeah, Grave Titan, stuff like that. Oh, and Primetime, Primeval.
That's
Titan.
why I didn't get it, because like I'm like, oh yeah, it's Bandit Commander, whatever. And then that was before I had like more of a mind about other formats, and I'm like, so many people play Primetime in Modern. I could have just traded it.
Yeah, and it's the coolest version of Primeval.
It's the coolest version of pretty much all three of those cards.
Yeah, God, that Uro artwork is vicious, and so is the Kroxa one.
Dude, it's money. Those Kaldheim borders were legit.
In the secret lairs, I've seen them in person once, and it's such a pleasure actually to like sit down at the table and I notice that someone else is a kindred spirit and loves secret lair the same way you do, and you see maybe drops that you didn't buy or like cards that you sold and you gave away, like but yeah, it's out of the 90% that I've bought, the one that I definitely feel like I missed out on was those Kaldheim drops.
Yeah, those were real sweet.
Yeah, and I'd say that the greatest, and another one that I missed out on, which I did buy, I just didn't buy enough of it, was the Shockland drop.
Yeah, the Culture Shock. That was like, we were talking about it. It's like, we're like, oh my God, the value.
I think when we got you back into Magic, Chris, we were looking through your trade binder and you're like, I don't know if I have much in there. And then we immediately, we get halfway through your book and then there's just Shockland.
All of my money's in mana bases.
Yeah.
It's like, it was crazy to be like, what do you mean you don't have value in here, dude? Like, you have a ton of value in here. I wish I had all these Shocklands.
Yeah. I want to get in on the land game. I've traded a lot so I could kind of get the cards I wanted, but looking at rebuilding a collection, the mana base is where I want to be right now. Right. Like with Infinity coming out, I'm just like, I'm salivating over these Shocklands.
Yeah, you're saving up your paychecks to buy those Galaxy Foil Shocklands.
Oh yeah, one of each.
What are they sitting at right now?
150 each on.
Ooh, boy.
This is for the Galaxy Foil. Have you guys seen the Galaxy Foil? And like,
not in person.
I looked it up
not in
after,
person, but yeah, like I saw a YouTube video. Oh my goodness, they're so cool.
They put like little foil stars in it, so it's like it's multi-layered.
It's like an
so
extra layer of
it's
foil.
Yeah, foil underneath, so like the background is foiled, and then they put this extra layer of like star foil on top. If you guys have ever played Yu-Gi-Oh and you go all the way back to star foils there, it reminds me a lot of that. So if you want
that is not relatable content for me, but it sounds cool.
But okay, so like go on TCG Player. If you want to know what Galaxy Foil is going to look like, go spend 5 cents on a Galaxy Foil or on a star foil Yu-Gi-Oh card. Doesn't matter what it is.
Are you familiar with the meme of Simpsons did it? Where it's just like, I forget what show it was, but they were just like, they made a whole episode where like they were trying to come up with original content, and it was just like, oh shit, the Simpsons already did this.
Oh yeah, I'm aware of the Simpsons did it.
Yeah,
meme and yeah.
Yeah, so that's what like kind of I feel like Evan and I talk about all the time lately is just like, yeah, Magic's doing some really cool foil stuff, but like Pokemon did that 15 years ago.
Yeah,
or Yu-Gi-Oh has been doing this the whole time. Like,
well, is there a sense that like the Yu-Gi-Oh and Pokemon crowd have sort of aged into playing like EDH or?
I feel like there is some like crossover for sure.
There's a lot of crossover, and
it's kind of the fan base as well as Wizards driving that.
Yeah, the people who do overlap like from those other games are the ones like me who are rolling their eyes when everyone's going gaga over like Galaxy Foils, and you're like, guys.
I mean, I'm still going over gaga over it.
Yeah, I know.
I get it.
It might be different, but
you're buying a playset of them at 150 a piece.
Yeah,
playset of all of them.
That's not gaga.
You're
okay.
Just
cool, an even keel,
a cool bill, and I'll have everything I desire.
Yeah, it's not that I like. I'm shaming others for, and maybe I am shaming others for liking
you have
those.
No ground to stand on. We'll pull up your bank statements for your Secret Lair purchases over the last 2 years.
I think I've about tapped on my 2 cents on Secret Lair.
Yeah, I mean, I think we went along. I don't know if we need to go into any more discussion on the Secret Layers here and stuff like that. We've already talked about what we've been picking up, but I think we
definitely mention below in the comments if you have a favorite Secret Lair.
Yeah, what's your favorite Secret Lair?
Like what the best arts that come out of these Secret Lairs. Yeah.
What's your least favorite Secret Lair? Because there's plenty to dislike.
Yeah, there's
also plenty to like.
Yeah, plenty to dislike and plenty to regret not buying.
Yep.
Yeah.
Dislike it because you didn't buy it.
Convince me to buy one of these.
Yes,
guys.
All right.
Oh, I will.
Here we go. Here's the question.
No, Evan, you're not going to do it. I want the fans.
Okay. What should Chris buy as his very first Secret Lair? If it's not talking about the Magic 30, if he went back and bought one, what would it be?
Yeah, leave that in the comments below, and I'm curious to what the community has to say about it.
Sweet. All right, guys, that's our time here with the MoxStars podcast. Thanks for tuning in, and again, you can find all of our socials in the links down below.
Goodbye.
Bye.